Good evening, everybody, and good luck in your fantasy championships. We're getting underway in about 45 minutes in Cleveland. The Jets is not well. Chris and I aren't there. We're not playing either, but fantasy matchups are getting underway. And good evening, Chris. How we doing?
A little cold, but other than that, I'm fine.
Is that a blanket?
Yeah, it's a little like a shawl. I'm a little chilly, so trying to stay warm in this winter.
I love it. All right, we got Amari Cooper out tonight.
This feels like Keenan Allen 2 weeks ago, right? And it's a heel injury as well, where it was just like throughout the week it was like, well, Keenan Allen's not practicing, Amari Cooper's not practicing. It's probably fine. And then we get to Thursday, an hour and a half before the game, and it's like, oh, they're not playing. That's fun. And of course, it's coming off Amari Cooper's best game maybe ever. One of the best performances by any player of the season. So congratulations on making the championship. Here's Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, well, here's Joe Flacco, and I can't do it. Like, there's no chance. If he's going to throw 40 times, he could probably get himself to around 300 yards. I just don't see.
It just doesn't make sense for them to throw 40 times.
Their running game stinks. But I don't see it happening with Flacco. If you were considering starting Flacco, you can't. But who do you go to if nobody's available? Do you go to Tyrod Taylor or Jared Stidham or Jared Hall or something?
I wish Jacoby Brissett had a better matchup because that would be the one. I would start Brissett ahead of him, ahead of Joe Flacco. I would start Derek Carr against Tampa Bay, but he's not that widely available. Sounds like Trevor Lawrence is going to try to play through. No, he didn't practice today, actually.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. Look, you never know with Trevor Lawrence, but he did not practice today.
Yeah, yeah. I guess Jared Stidham among widely available guys. I can't
start him over Flacco, or you just go Flacco?
I would, yeah. I can't see myself going with Jaron Hall though, or it's not great. Jake Browning, but he's got a tough matchup. All right, yeah, it's not great.
Let's see what. This is really. You just.
Yeah. No, it's actually it's got little sleeves, so it's like a wearable blanket. It's not a Snuggie trademark. I don't want to get in trouble, but yes, I'm trying to be cozy for the winter.
You look very comfortable. All right, we have any questions? We don't have to talk about Thursday's game per se. Anything that you want to know, like this one? It's a good question. What about Justin Jefferson now with the Vikings going with Jaron Hall? And you got to figure they're preaching, don't turn the ball over. That's why they're going with Jaron Hall. But what does this do for Justin Jefferson?
What, are you going to sit Justin Jefferson in your championship game?
Well,
no, you're not.
I'm trying to think of, okay, you have Puka or Kupp or I would probably start Jefferson over most guys, but I don't know. Let me see the wide receiver rankings. Like, I would start Tyreek. Okay, here's who I would start over Justin Jefferson.
CeeDee Lamb.
Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
AJ
Brown.
Puka Nacua.
Chris Olave. I don't know if I'm there with Puka Nacua. So I think that's about 5 or 6.
Yeah, so he's 6 in my rankings.
Okay.
So, in theory, there is a team in my league that has CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. In theory, they could have also added Puka Nacua and then traded for Justin. Like, it's possible that you could have the right combination of guys that you're sitting Justin Jefferson, but you're not sitting Justin Jefferson in all likelihood. Like, yeah, I think it makes him riskier. Jaron Hall is a 25-year-old 5th-round pick who didn't put up particularly good numbers in college. I don't have much faith in him. I think he might run more than any of the other quarterbacks that we've seen, at least outside of Joshua Dobbs. So, yeah, I think it's a downgrade for the offense, but that means Justin Jefferson's number 6 in my rankings rather than number 1.
Best show hands down. Thank you. Half PPR, McBride or Njoku?
There are only 2 tight ends I would start ahead of David Njoku, and Trey McBride is one of them. Travis Kelce's the other one.
Is that reflective of the Amari Cooper absence? Does that change anything?
David Njoku's been my number 3 tight end the whole week.
No, but does he move up now?
No, I can't see moving him up ahead of Trey McBride. For my projections, I've still got like a 1.5 difference between them. Okay. So I do think there's a little teardrop there.
I think I am going to go with David Njoku.
But I think Njoku's a perfectly viable flex play.
Okay.
I would start David Njoku ahead of, gosh, I think every wide receiver in this game, except Garrett Wilson would be a legitimate toss-up with David Njoku for me.
I would start Wilson. But you're right. That's where we're talking about here. Derrick Henry or Ty Chandler?
I would still go with Derrick Henry. I know he had a miserable performance the last time he faced Houston, but I have to think they're going to get him more involved. I mean, he had 20 touches, I guess, last time, so it wasn't a question of involvement. It was a question of productivity. But yeah, I just think given the workload that he's likely to get, I would still get him over Ty Chandler, especially like Alexander Mattison. I don't know if he'll be more involved than he was last week, but Ty Chandler I don't think is going to have a passing game role. So you're hoping that he can be a more productive runner than Derrick Henry. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah, Henry, I do think Henry has, 5-point downside, though.
Sure.
Because it looks like Stroud and Collins are both going to play. And we know what happens if games get out of hand against the Titans. But I am going to go with Derrick Henry here because, Chandler was very good 2 weeks ago against the Cincinnati Bengals without DJ Reader.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back down to earth the next week. And then, maybe they do get Madison more involved here. So, I'll also go Henry. Those are not my favorite options, though.
No.
All right, Joshua, let's get you a second straight championship here. Chris Godwin or Jaden Reed, Zeke or CEH. You've got everybody in this question is on the injury report, except Godwin is expected to play. Jaden Reed's expected to play, I would say. Zeke has an illness. And Clyde, I think, also has an illness.
Yeah, Clyde and Zeke are both illnesses, so assuming they're going to play, but obviously we can't say that for sure. I have Godwin ahead of Jaden Reed, so I would go with him. Even if Jaden Reed was healthy, I would go with Godwin. Let's assume Zeke and CH are both in the same spot. I'm going with Zeke. I know Zeke or CH did have 19, 20 PPR points in the last game that Isaiah Pacheco missed, but we know Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not a special player at this point. We know this Chiefs offense isn't particularly good at this point, so I would give Zeke the edge. I think his 3 games without Ramondre Stevenson, his 17-game pace is something like 150 targets and 120 catches. It's just a massive role.
The matchup for Clyde is just incredible. I mean, the Bengals are almost as good as it gets. And obviously, Zeke is not a special player on a good offense.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's all fair as well.
I think in full PPR, you might go Zeke. In half or non, I'm going to go Clyde. Zeke in full. Boy, that's really close. I guess I'd probably go Zeke. I cannot see him getting fewer than 5 catches, and I can see him getting 8. Brees or Bijan this week?
That's going to be Bijan for me, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes, Bijan.
It's going to be Bijan for me, too. I wish that Zeke wasn't playing tonight because Bijan's got 2 or 3 offensive linemen who are injured. They've all been limited. So I'm hopeful for them. If they were not practicing, And,
look, Chicago's not a pushover anymore. I know that the perception of them is, but this is a pretty good defense since they made all those trades. But obviously, Cleveland's a better defense, so I would go with...
better run defense, though. Yeah. I mean, in fact, I would say Chicago's a much better run defense, but I think the Bears give up the most receiving yards per game to running backs. So I think that's where Bijan could make his hay. What about Ford? Is he better with Cooper out?
I don't think so. I think it drags the entire offense down. And the thing about Ford is he has shown the ability to break big plays in both the passing and the running game. If he doesn't, he's giving them nothing right now. He's got one of the lowest success rates of any running back with significant work this season. His yards per carry is under 4, despite having, an 80-yard touchdown early on in the season. That just tells you how bad he's been for most of the year. So I didn't move Jerome Ford up at all. He is RB 31 for me.
Now, listen, I always give Schaefer a lot of credit when he comes up with a good YouTube poll. But he didn't this time, and I got to call him out for it here. It was, are you starting Elijah Moore with Amari Cooper out? I don't care about that. This is what I care about, Schaefer. This is the new YouTube poll, if you wouldn't mind. Are you staying up to see the ball drop, or are you staying up until midnight on New Year's Eve? So we got, we probably have an older audience here. I want to know how. Now it is football Sunday, right? So you got a Sunday night game, so that helps. You're going to be up till 11:20 watching that game anyway on the East Coast.
Are you saying there's actually a chance you'll go to sleep before midnight?
No, not me.
Okay, because
I'm a night.
I know Heath does. It would honestly be a little surprising if Heath was up past midnight on New Year's Eve. I feel like Heath doesn't stay up that late ever.
No, but I don't care. I'm not staying up specifically for New Year's. I don't care.
I mean, I'm going to be at a party, so like I'll be up. But I would be, if it was just a normal Sunday, I would be up past midnight. Yeah, I'd probably go to sleep at like 2:30 on Sunday nights.
You don't have kids, but we're a late house anyway. But I'm just saying, like, being up for New Year's to watch the ball drop or whatever. So if you're not on the East Coast, I couldn't care less about New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's not a holiday. It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, look, we get it. Most people get a day off. I guess we don't really, but it's fine.
Yeah, we're pretty much off Monday. We're off Monday.
Yeah, it's week 18's weird.
Week 18 is weird. Chris looks like he's gonna go build a fort with couch cushions.
Oh, absolutely. You kidding me?
Oh man, it's great. All right, Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, Javonte, or Ty Chandler.
Okay, Breece Hall would be the top one there. He is a fringe RB1, and I would go Aaron Jones.
I think we only need one.
Okay, then just one. Breece Hall. Yeah. Let's go.
By the way, injury that kind of snuck up on me. Chuba Hubbard.
Yes.
Is not practicing. He has a hamstring injury.
He's been limited both days, I thought.
Okay, I'll look right now. I thought he missed practice today.
Maybe he got downgraded, but he was limited yesterday for sure.
All right, that's a big difference.
He's been limited both days, and that's always the thing. I hate when a player pops up on the injury report with like a new injury midweek, especially a hamstring injury, because it's like, are they actually limited or did they leave practice? And we never get those details at the time. But it sounds like Chuba. I mean, limited, we can't say for sure he's going to play, but I didn't take him out of my rankings yet.
Schaefer, looks like Schaefer's original YouTube poll was better than mine. This one's very lopsided. 70% are going to stay up past.
I mean, yeah, our audience are not a bunch of 7-year-olds. It's not like
I feel like 7-year-olds like New Year's. Like, I don't care about New Year's.
Right, but like people are going to stay up, Adam. It's New Year's Eve. Like, I don't.
Connor or Montgomery have PPR?
Ooh, I have Montgomery ranked higher.
Me, yeah, I would go Montgomery also. Tua or Kyler?
Well, Kyler has not practiced this week due to an illness. Obviously, that we don't know what that means for Sunday because it's only Thursday. But I do have Kyler one spot ahead of Tua, assuming he's fine.
Garrett Wilson or wait on Chase with Ken Walker as a backup? Yeah, I
think. So it was weird. Jamar Chase spoke to the media today. I don't know if you saw he really spoke to the media today.
Trash, and he's not. I don't even.
We don't even know he's going to play. So yeah, that was funny, but like one of my heuristics, is that the right word there? Is
so I can't tell you.
If a player talks to the media, I generally assume they're going to play. It's not perfect, but that's how I approach it. So I think he's got a chance, but I think I would still roll the dice on Wilson.
Yeah. I think I don't know that I would really want to start Jamar Chase if he did play, but Jarius Sneed has now missed practice 2 straight days. Yeah. So that's obviously a huge deal. Elijah Moore, Drake London, or KJ Osborne, full PPR.
I think I have Moore ranked highest. I did just sneak him inside my top 36 with Amari Cooper out. Look, he's been a very talented prospect. He was pretty good as a rookie when he got the opportunities. It's just everything with the coaching staff in New York last year went wrong, and then it hasn't been a great situation. So I think there's a chance Elijah Moore has a really good game. It's not the likeliest outcome, but it certainly wouldn't shock me. I think there's a path to real upside there.
Well, Amari Cooper, not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, he played about 30% of the snaps. And in that game with Joe Flacco, Elijah Moore had 12 targets. He caught only 4 of them, but he had 83 yards. That was against the Rams. The Rams have a much worse pass defense than the Jets. But the 12 targets are what stand out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Flacco, 40 or more pass attempts in all 4 games. I think 42 or more in all 4 games. So it would not surprise me if we saw double-digit targets. I think the yards, touchdowns probably unlikely to be there, but a 5-6 catch game wouldn't surprise me at all. 6 for 60, something like that for Elijah.
Yeah.
And obviously it could always be better.
And they've shown a willingness to scheme up snaps or touches for him this season. It's just, does that stay along with when they're in obvious passing situations? Is he the top target or 1B to David Njoku? That's the key there.
Flacco or Carr?
Carr.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Without Cooper. This one bothers me. From Hawaii. Jerk. Jake Browning. I mean, come on. We're wearing Snuggies over here. Jake Browning, Jarrett Stidham, or Joe Flacco, or Jaron Hall?
I think I'd go Jake Browning in this group, but I don't feel great about any of them. Although I guess it's number 2s.
I think if Chase plays, I'd go Browning. If not, I think I'd go Stidham. Actually,
sure.
I might just go Browning. He's been pretty good.
It's been really fluky. Like, there's been 3 different 40-yard catches by running backs. Like that, you can't count on that.
Yeah, what did you have, an 80-yard touchdown for Higgins?
Yeah, and Joe Mixon or
Chase Brown.
T. Higgins had one of the catches of the season on what otherwise would have been an incomplete pass for a touchdown. So I don't think Jake Browning's playing particularly well. I think he does some things well. I think he moves well in the pocket. I think he's got a little bit of mobility and he keeps his eyes up. So I think he's competent, but you're definitely hoping that the offense around him elevates him or continues to elevate him.
Okay. Hey, Turner and Hooch. Never saw that movie.
Is that the one with the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Hanks and a dog. Cooper out. All right, we need a flex. Goddard against the Cardinals. Rashad White? Zamir White. So I saw today Jacobs is not practicing, but is expected to play. According to
that's what they said last week too, right? That was Monday of last week. I'd bet on him. If I was a betting man, I think it was Antonio. So we're still at the feeling out point with Antonio Pierce as a head coach, and who knows if he'll stay the head coach for the Raiders. But there are some coaches that when they say something, you're like, yes, they are being forthright and accurate, and I can believe the things they are saying. And then there's Pete Carroll and Mike McDaniel, I think, are probably the 2 most prominent examples where every time they speak, they're just going to say the most optimistic version of whatever they're saying. And you kind of have to assume, I think when Devon Achane went on IR, Mike McDaniel was like, oh, he was a little dinged up, and it's we don't know about Antonio Pierce, but last week's optimism around Josh Jacobs makes me pretty skeptical of any optimistic reports until we see him, especially get a full practice on Friday. That'd be nice to see.
My answer here is going to be Clyde.
It would be Zamir White if Josh Jacobs was out. If not, Clyde. And if not, probably Chandler.
Yeah, that's fair. Shaheed, I don't have enough faith in Shaheed because he's had 4 good games all year. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're in DFS, you want to play a little DFS. I think Shaheed's a nice dart throw. I don't know his play, honestly. There are a lot of things in the matchup that I like. I'll talk about it on tomorrow's show. Let's pick 3 in PPR. Garrett Wilson, Achane, Jamar Chase, Deontay Johnson, Javonte Williams, CEH.
Well, pending Pacheco and pending Jamar Chase, but I'm locking Garrett Wilson in. If Chase plays, you got to play him. So I'll give 4, I guess. Wilson, Chase. I think I have Javonte ahead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but those would be the next 2.
Okay, I like Clyde more than Chris does. Just if obviously Pacheco being out, and then Achane's getting a little more interesting to me, but he'd be 4th. He'd be 4th on the list in PPR because Waddle, so I think more chances for catches, but also Mostert is legitimately banged up. Is going to play,
yeah,
but
that's the one that's tough because he just doesn't practice really.
But it's a new injury.
Yeah. Well, it's knee/ankle, and he's been on the injury report with knee or ankle for most of the year. But
he got hurt last week. Yeah. Again. So, but yeah. All right. So definitely Wilson and Chase if he plays. Chris,
how frustrating would it be if Raheem Mostert stayed healthy the entire season, scored 21 touchdowns in the first 16 weeks, and then got hurt and missed week 17. Yeah. Wouldn't that just be like this guy who's never been able to stay healthy? You took the chance on him. He paid off in a huge way, only to let you down right at the end. That would suck.
I obviously don't want him to miss the game, but I'm nervous about him anyway in this matchup. Mm-hmm. I'm nervous about Mostert every week, and he always scores, and he's always good. But I'm worried about him in this matchup. So if he did miss the game, it might give fantasy managers kind of a sigh of relief.
Could not be a different kind of player than Jamal Williams, but he's having last year's Jamal Williams season, except even better.
Wilson or Flowers?
So Flowers is dealing with his own injury, calf that he hasn't practiced with the last 2 days. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm going Wilson either way.
Okay. Jalen Warren or Zamir White? White for sure, right?
White if Jacobs is out, yeah. Although, it's worth remembering last week he had 8 points going into the final drive.
Zamir White?
Yeah, he had 60 yards on 3 carries on the final drive. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty bad game for him.
Well, that's why I was surprised that you like him better than Clyde, assuming Pacheco's and Jacobs are both out.
I feel better about Zamir White getting 18 carries. I know Clyde will get a little more passing work, but he's just really bad. Is really what it comes down to. It's just like, even he had like a 42-yard catch maybe 2 weeks ago. And if you watched it, it was like the least impressive 40-yard catch that anyone has ever had in the NFL.
Fair. And then Stafford or Baker? Look, Stafford's on fire. He's the number 2 quarterback per game over the last 5 weeks. I am going to go with Stafford. I do sort of buy that the Giants defense is just a lot better at home. I mean, they have been – every quarterback who's done well against the Giants has been a Giants road game. But look, they faced Washington, New England. They did well against Jordan Love. All right, anyway, I'm going to go Stafford. I'm going to go Stafford here.
I'm going Stafford. But I don't mind Baker Mayfield. He's playing really well right now, actually.
Would you bench Garrett Wilson for any of these guys?
No, I don't think so. I could see it if Addison was healthy, and he did get a limited practice in Thursday, so hopefully he'll be able to play. But I still think, like, all those guys have upside. None of them are any safer than Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. You could argue Jaden Reed, but I would also go Wilson. Flacco, Brissett, Easton Stick, or Mason Rudolph?
I would go with Flacco here.
Yeah, I guess so. Nico or Moore? Oh, Nico to the moon.
Well, is it DJ Moore or Elijah Moore?
Okay, sorry. I was thinking Elijah
Moore. If it's DJ Moore, it's DJ Moore. But it's close.
I go Nico over DJ Moore. DJ Moore hasn't been on the injury report, right? Are we just gonna
he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't see the quotes from him today?
No.
He said, I'm Wolverine. He said he doesn't get hurt. Yeah, I would go with him over Nico. Nico's a top 18 wide receiver for me. DJ Moore's top 15, so they're pretty close. If it's Elijah Moore, then it's clearly Nico.
Yeah, all right. DJ Moore or KJ? Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, you got to go DJ Moore.
Standard scoring, pick 2. DJ Moore, Gabe Davis, T. Higgins, and Romeo Doubs.
DJ Moore and T. Higgins. Every format.
Does it matter if Jamar Chase plays?
It doesn't matter for me.
Agreed.
I think there's a big enough gap between those guys.
Start 3 in non-PPR. Eckler, Saquon, Connor, and Jonathan Taylor.
Sitting Eckler.
Yeah.
Who would you think otherwise? Because all these guys
make me nervous.
Oh yeah, but like Taylor, 18 carries last week? I think the passing game role is probably not going to be there. I think Zach Moss, if he plays, is probably going to get the passing game role, which is a little concerning for Jonathan Taylor. Saquon, it's been super hit or miss.
Oh my gosh, I was just doing that. I was just previewing that game before. Hold on.
Did Connor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Saquon.
Saquon Barkley in PPR, his last 6 games, he scored 7.1, 30, 6.2, 23.1, 5.7, and 19.4. I like the Tyrod Taylor move, though. I think their offense is going to be better with him. All right, so yeah, I would sit Eckler here.
Yeah, Connor just had his first game under 4 yards per carry all season. That's pretty remarkable. I think he leads the NFL in rush yards over expected as well. I think is another stat I saw. It's really wild how well James Conner's played this season.
It's crazy. The Eagles, though, they're getting healthier on defense, particularly two linebackers, Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham. Both have been limited all week, so their run defense could get back to itself. But yeah, okay, we'll sit Eckler. Move down here to Browns, DST, or Bills?
You got to go Browns.
Yeah, Browns. Can I get the game of the week? So I don't know how I'm going to get Dave this week. I don't even know what the game of the week is going to be.
I mean, there's an obvious one.
You thinking about the Dolphins?
No. Lions, Cowboys.
Lions, Cowboys. Yeah, that is on the schedule tomorrow.
It's got the highest over-under by like 4 points.
But he's going to be expecting that. So
Cardinals, Eagles, over-under 48.5. Wow, the Commander. Where did this song come from?
You know, I asked, we have this company that makes songs for us. And I asked them, I don't remember what I asked.
Did you ask for like a yacht rock song?
I don't remember what
it kind of has like a Christopher Cross vibe.
Yeah. What else could it be? I think. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Probably gonna have to be the Saturday game. All right. Pick 2. Oh, sit 2. Oh no, we're gonna start 2. Always, if you're starting as many or more than you're sitting, we're always gonna start. So we're gonna start 2 here. And for me, they're going to be Zeke and Zamir White or Zeke and Aaron Jones.
It's Zeke and Aaron Jones for me.
And that's starting them.
That's starting them. Although the Vikings defense has been very good this season, another big surprise. But I'm still going Aaron Jones. He looked so good last week.
Raheem Mostert or Jonathan Taylor, and Harrison Butker or Jake Moody.
I would go Jonathan Taylor, and I don't rank kickers, so whatever the projections say.
I would look at the weather and probably go with Moody.
Yeah, I would go with Moody.
Actually, I would probably go with Butker. I would go with whoever's been better, whoever scored more points, unless the weather is significant in either spot. And then the Rams or the I'm going to go Niners.
Yes.
Whoa, let's see. Pick a flex. Puka or Nico. Oh, or Brees.
Puka.
I'm in love with Nico Collins this week, I think. I mean, what's the sample size of Stroud and Nico without Tank Dell?
Only like 3 games, something like that. The problem with Nico is he only played 45%, ran 45% of the routes last week. He got the garbage time touchdown, which tells you that it's not just that he was out because it was garbage time. He wasn't 100% last week. Yeah. It's been a recurring injury. We're assuming he's going to play a bigger role, but if he doesn't, it's a little dicey. I've got him, like I said, wide receiver 17, I think. I know Jamie's got him top 10. I was talking to Dave earlier. He's in the like low end wide receiver 2 range on Nico, but he's a really tough player to rank this week, I think, because there's absolutely tons of upside and a lot of risk.
The last time he played without Tank Dell was against the Broncos. He had 9 catches, 191 yards, and a touchdown on 12 targets. Mm-hmm. But there's not a lot of sample there. Super flex, Garrett Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, or Zamir White if Jacobs is out.
I almost always have the quarterback projected for more. I do, yeah. Tyrod.
I wish he were a better quarterback in a better situation because the Rams pass defense really stinks. Raiders, Jets, or Bears DST?
Jets.
That's probably yeah, I'd go.
It Jets. Could be Falcons. I think it's perfectly reasonable to go with the Falcons as well, but I would just go with the Jets.
I did that one. Sorry, this one. Tua or Flacco. I have 5 minutes. Okay. So no, you're right. Actually, you do have that. Yeah, Tua. Brees Hall, Eckler, or Clyde. You have to sit one of them.
Sit one of them. I'm sitting Clyde.
All right, I'm going to start Zeke, and I'm going to pray on it for the next 2 days and try to figure out Eckler versus Clyde.
Brees Hall, you mean?
I'm going to start Brees.
Yep.
And I'm going to figure out who I'm sitting between Eckler and Clyde. But start Brees. If I had to choose right now, I would sit Eckler. I would start Clyde. You're right. He is so bad. But isn't Brees Hall too? They both have great matchups.
Brees Hall's a much better player.
No, I'm sorry. Isn't Eckler?
Eckler.
Flacco, Tyrod, or Brissett?
I would still go Flacco here.
Yeah, fine. Sorry that you have to make that decision. Noah Brown or Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed, assuming he plays.
Yeah, he should play. He looks good. And Watson and Wicks don't right now.
Yeah, they've both been unable to practice this week. Reed's been limited both days.
Trust is not the word I would use. I don't trust these guys.
I think there is,
for the most part.
There's one player I trust in Thursday Night Football, and it's David Njoku.
Yeah.
Not the word, like someone asked me earlier if I would trust Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Would not trust Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No. I would start him.
Right.
But trust is not a word that's been in my fantasy football vocabulary in 2023.
I think there's about 5 running backs I trust. Fully trust.
Christian McCaffrey for sure.
Yeah.
Just like we drew it up before the season, Kyron Williams and Rashad White.
Yep.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
Kamara in full PPR for sure.
PPR, I trust him. Yep. Is that it?
I would not use the word trust for anyone else. Maybe like Travis Etienne, but not really. He's been pretty mediocre for a long stretch. Yeah, trust is not the word.
Brees Hall, Joe Mixon, or Clyde, full PPR.
Brees Hall.
Yeah, I'll go Brees Hall. It's just the catches, man. They're almost always there. Ty Chandler or Jerome Ford?
I think I have Ty Chandler ranked ahead. I do.
I would risk it on Chandler. The Packers' run defense is not good.
The defense as a whole, not great.
I wonder. I mean, it's really late in the season to fire a defensive coordinator, but if they had lost that game last week to the Panthers, there's so much heat on Joe Barry. Let's see.
I mean, that's kind of the rule, right? You lose to the Panthers in 2023, you gotta fire a coach.
Do not bench.
No, absolutely not.
For Greg Dortch. Zeke, Montgomery, Chandler, Clyde, pick 2.
Zeke and Montgomery.
I'd go Zeke and Clyde.
You're sitting David Montgomery for Clyde.
Yeah.
In the game with the highest over-under on the schedule against a vulnerable Cowboys rush defense.
Well, that's a good point. I know
given up, I think 100 plus yards in 5 of their last 7 games since the bye week.
It's the Bengals, and he's the only guy. I think there's 20 touch potential for Clyde against the Bengals.
He might have 42 yards.
All right, screw it. I'm going Clyde. I get it. He makes a good point, but I'm going to stick to my guns there. Zeke or Zamir White, PPR?
Zeke, especially in PPR.
Yeah.
In non, you could maybe go with Zamir White, but in full PPR, it's definitely Zeke.
I would go with Zamir White in non, and I'd probably do it in half too, but in full PPR, it was Zeke. Pick one. I don't expect Sutton at this point. McLaurin, Elijah Moore, or Shaheed?
I would still go with McLaurin.
Yeah, same. Chiefs DST against the Bengals or the Rams at the Giants?
I'm gonna
go Chiefs.
I would go Rams, but I think that's fine.
All right, we got a few minutes left here. Jets or Bills? Jets.
Yeah.
Really? Are we really doing that? Jets?
Bills.
Fine. Bills. That's the nice thing about DSTs is you don't have 2 on your roster. And those 2 DSTs are both widely rostered, so not many people are making that choice.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson or Chris Godwin?
Garrett Wilson.
Murray, Stafford, or Fields?
I believe I have Fields ranked high. Yeah, he's top 5 for me.
Fields of gold. Giants Rams game of the week.
Sick reference. I always tell people you have the best references.
Yeah, dude.
Anytime you can throw in an early 90s Sting single out there, you've got to.
Murray to a Minshew Rudolph. We have to rank all of these guys? 3?
Tua. Murray if he plays. Murray, Tua, I think that's probably the order. Murray, Tua, Minshew. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Murray and Tua.
Okay. Elijah Moore or Deontay Johnson?
I think I moved Elijah Moore one spot behind Deontay Johnson, so I guess I'll stick with Elijah Moore.
Hey, do two things for us real quick here. Do two things for us real quick. Hit that like button and vote for us at sportspodcastawards.com. There's that QR code right there in the top above the Snuggie. Click. Thank you. Vote for us. Go to sportspodcastawards.com. The fantasy betting and gaming category, vote for fantasy football today. Then when you're done with that, go to the baseball category, vote for fantasy baseball today. Garrett Wilson or Rashee Rice? Rice, baby. Has anybody said Rice, baby, or did I make that up?
You're probably the first person.
Probably. That's what I think. Non-PPR, Montgomery, DJ Moore, Devontae Adams.
I think it's got to be Montgomery.
Montgomery, DJ Moore. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's Montgomery for me.
I'll go. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I like that. Barkley or Breece Hall?
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall for me.
In full PPR for sure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. He did get mad. Yeah. And thank you for being on my side. Warren or Clyde? Let's get that. Clyde.
I have Warren ranked ahead, but it's one spot, so it's fine. Fine, I'll move Clyde ahead of Jalen Warren just for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Elijah Moore or JSN?
Ooh, Elijah.
Yeah, EJM. Elijah Moore. Half PPR. Pick
I mean, we do that. People do that with Odell Beckham, which I've always thought was super silly. People call him ODB, and it's like OBJ.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they do ODB for like Old Dirty Bastard?
Maybe that's what it is.
Jacobs, Eckler, Taylor, or Aaron Jones? We need two here.
Taylor and Jones in half PPR.
Oh, wow. You like Jones a lot, huh?
Yeah. I think he's really good. Good player.
I don't
the NFL.
It's just the Panthers, I hope, didn't prop him up last week.
Sure, and the Vikings are a much tougher matchup for sure. But in half PPR, like Eckler's just been so inefficient as a runner. He's not getting any volume. I still think Jones is going to get a lot of opportunities because A.J. Dillon just isn't 100%.
I would start Jacobs. I would start Taylor for sure. I would start Jacobs if
Jacobs plays. I'm just assuming he won't.
Yeah, if they're like he's healthy, he's good to go, no restrictions.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson or wait on Pittman?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Pittman was a full practice today, but we've already gone through the process of him being cleared and then having a setback. If Pittman plays, I have him ranked ahead of Garrett Wilson. So the fact that he did practice, I think it's fine to go with.
Do it. Play to win the game. And you don't necessarily want three players, even if one is a DST, in this game tonight. Njoku or Laporta?
Njoku. That's one of three tight ends I have ranked ahead of Laporta.
Garrett Wilson or Calvin Ridley?
I would go with Garrett Wilson here.
Yeah, it may not be Lawrence, and I don't really like Ridley in this matchup. But I know the other guys liked him more than I did. Adam was right. I don't know what you're talking about, but I love it. I think you're talking about my 49ers thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll tell you.
Amari Cooper is not playing tonight. Breaking news.
The easiest question we've gotten on. I thank you for that. Breece Hall or Garrett Wilson?
Breece Hall.
Breece.
In full PPR.
Remember, Old Navy Performance Breece. Remember that?
Sure. Yeah. A Felice Hall sounds very cozy.
Yeah, it sure does. No, that's not the one I meant. I swear I didn't mean to hit that one. Jets or Dolphins?
Jets.
What? Jets. Okay. Who's starting the Dolphins? Please don't do that. My band covers Ride Like the Wind by Christopher.
I've got a friend who has I play fantasy baseball with him, and he has a yacht rock band, and it's actually super fun. They do like all the yacht rock covers. It's a great time. Shouts to the Yacht Lobsters.
Oh, nice. Pittman, Ken Walker, or Mostert. I would go Pittman if he plays.
Pittman if he plays, for sure, yeah.
And I would go Rams.
I would go Rams as well.
All right, so we're done. So I'll tell you what we were debating rather heatedly on Tuesday's show. Jamie thought that They were down 3 scores in the fourth quarter, and Trent Williams had gotten hurt. He thought that they should have pulled all their starters. And I was like...
In the third quarter?
No, the fourth quarter. I was like, they were 2 yards away from making it a 7-point game.
Yeah.
With more than 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, with that offense, I get it. I get the concerns about that, but because it was a 2-score game.
He said it was a 21-point game or a 3-score game. That's what he was arguing. But let's just say hypothetically, I still think you're the Niners. You have that offense. You're that explosive. You just keep the guys in the game. It's not over yet.
Yeah, I guess there would have been a point where they were down 21. Yeah.
You played to win the game.
Exactly.
You played it. Yeah, boo this man. All right. Well, good luck, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Stay warm.
I took my headphones off.
Just so you know, it's like 50 degrees in New York. It's actually quite warm.
Well, so the thing about my apartment is when it's sunny. Yeah, exactly. No, when it's sunny, it doesn't matter how cold it is outside. I'm warm. But we haven't seen the sun in like 4 days. And my apartment gets so cold if it's like 60 degrees outside and there's no sunlight. It's crazy.
Yeah, Chris has the only igloo in Brooklyn. So
exactly.
Good luck, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow with Starter Sit for the NFC home games. See you later.